Welcome back, Full Heel Podcast, to another Raw breakdown. Today is October 21st, 2019, and I'm going to be breaking down today's Raw. I skipped last week because last week's Raw kind of blew Zack, and I was asleep. Fell asleep halfway through, went back and I watched it. It just, nothing really to report on. I didn't think so, at least. So I waited till AEW on Wednesday and gave you the breakdown for that. So go ahead and check out the breakdown for that. Tomorrow would be Tuesday, so you still have Tuesday. And then all of Wednesday to check it out before AEW comes out. And hear my thoughts. Drop your comments and let me know what you guys think about last week's episode of AEW or last week's episode of Raw. I did watch it. Just did not break it down. Fell asleep during it. Watched it the day after. Did Road Warriors with Jeff on Tuesday. AEW on Wednesday. So I just didn't have a chance, and it was a horrible Raw last week. This week was pretty good. Kept me entertained the whole way through. And before I get into it, I want to shout out the rewrites. Check them out November 2nd. They will be playing here in Chicago. And then November 22nd, I think it is. I should make sure 100%. November, yeah. It looks like it's the 22nd. They will be playing in Michigan. They will be playing a brewery in Michigan. Check out my Facebook for more information on that. The rewrites going to Michigan. Raw started off today with Ric Flair. Ric Flair came out to announce his... I don't know if it was the last member of Team Flair, but it was Drew McIntyre. He added Drew McIntyre to his lineup. And damn good pick for Team Flair. I forgot who it was in response to from Team Hogan. But Drew McIntyre making his return. He's been out for a couple of months now. I think he had an injury to take care of. Seems like he's taking care of it. And he's back. Right away, McIntyre takes on Ricochet, a member of Team Flair. They go at it with pretty much the whole match is dominated by Drew McIntyre. McIntyre getting his brute offense off. Just Ricochet would get a move off and it wouldn't register. And it's not that Drew McIntyre was selling. He's perfectly selling, but he would just power through everything, through any of the offense that Drew McIntyre, or that Ricochet threw at Drew McIntyre. McIntyre was able to get out of. These guys really work well together with Ricochet's high flying and Drew McIntyre being just a power brute. Great opening match. McIntyre hits the Claymore kick, gets the 1, 2, 3. He then comes and beats up on Ricochet some more. Yeah. That's how Raw started off, with Flair picking McIntyre and McIntyre beating the shit out of Ricochet. Alistar Black cuts another one of his promos that he wants to fight. The fight that is given to him is Jason Reynolds, another jobber of sorts. I'm glad that Advancement Talent gets a chance to be portrayed. I'm guessing this is some kind of local talent that they had to just squash from probably from their hometown or something. I wish they would utilize NXT in the Cruiserweight division for what it is and have them face up and lose to the higher, bigger brands as they would brand them, but they don't want to brand them as lesser than the other ones, so they want to have them all on the same level. Just makes it a little bit more confusing or harder to book, and then you have to have people from outside the company come in like this when you can have the smaller guys job like I said. But you have a jobber come in. Surprisingly, he does get some shots in on Alistar Black. Some stiff shots it looked like, but nothing out of the ordinary. Very minimal offense. Alistar Black fades to black. That's his finisher. Kick to the head. Ends at 1, 2, 3. After this, we get the same old AOP promo. I'm an AOP fan, but I think this is third or fourth time we've seen this promo, and I'm kind of tired of it. It's the same promo. It's them speaking in a different language, mixing in a little bit of English and saying how they're going to come and destroy and wreak havoc on the tag team division. And if that's true, then that's awesome. But I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with these guys. And the vignettes, they're making me lose interest because it's, like I said, it's the same thing over and over again. Nothing has really changed. They're in a dark room in suits, side by side, speaking. I don't know what it is. Portuguese, maybe. It's not Spanish. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, same old promo. After this, we get King's Court, and we finally get Rusev answering the question of what's going on with Lana and Lashley. The Titantron comes up, and it shows Lashley and Lana at a certain restaurant that Rusev would not take Lana to, so Lana and Lashley are there. Rusev gets asked a question, and he says, I'll show you what I'm going to do, and he takes off in order to confront Lana and Lashley at said restaurant. After the commercial break, we have Andrade versus Sin Cara. The return of Sin Cara, I believe. I don't think we've seen him for a while. I don't remember seeing him on Raw or SmackDown as of recent. Let's see. Before I move on to the match, Rusev pretty much says that Lashley has poisoned Lana's mind. He doesn't know what's going on with Lana. He's still wearing his wedding band, and he goes to attack them, or Lashley. Andrade versus Sin Cara, in what I thought was going to be a squash match, and the returning Sin Cara. I don't think they took him that seriously, and he actually put on a pretty awesome match. They let these two guys go at it. I'm guessing they have good chemistry from their lucha background from AAA or whatever companies they used to be in, because their chemistry was very good. I was seeing that Sin Cara was mad because when in one of the entrances, I'm guessing it's in the story mode, he fails to hit his trampoline, and he kind of hits it and he gets injured. I don't know if that's true. I don't have 2K20. WWE 2K20. I should get it. Just the graphics look kind of shitty. We'll see. Let's see. Yeah, Sin Cara's hitting a lot of good stuff. Andrade's winning for the most part, but Sin Cara's hitting his offense. They actually made him look good. So Zelina goes to distract the ref. The ref catches onto Zelina trying to distract him. So he yells at Zelina. Andrade pulls Sin Cara's head on the ropes. The ref goes to yell at Andrade. As he's yelling at Andrade, Zelina hits the Hurricanrana from jumping off the apron onto the grounded opponent. It's a pretty awesome move that she does. You guys should go check it out. But they did a little bit differently today with the ref catching onto it and then stopping and then getting distracted in a different way. So Pretty cool. Let's see. After the Hurricanrana by Zelina, Andrade gets Sin Cara, does the DDT, and gets the 3 count after that. Did I skip a bunch? Let's see. No? Page 2. Alright. So then we get the... Okay, I thought it was a Street Profits match. I already know. It was just a Street Profits promo in the background. After this, we get the Bollywood Boys winning the 24/7 title from R-Truth in the back. Then we have the Viking Raiders versus Zack, Ryder, and Curt Hawkins. Zack, Ryder, and Curt Hawkins both get destroyed by the Viking Raiders. They do get a little bit of offense on Eric, which seems to be the tale that's told with the Viking Raiders. Eric usually takes the blunt of the bumps. Ivar waits for the hot tag, gets the hot tag, and takes everyone out. Eventually tags Eric back in. They get their offense going, their tag team offense, and pick up the win. If not, Eric usually gets tagged back in, and they lose the momentum. But this was a pretty good match for Zack Ryder and Curt Hawkins. I know they're jobbers. They job out a lot. They're known jobbers to the company, but they had a pretty decent match against these two. As you can tell, Raiders hit the Viking Experience 1, 2, 3. After this, we have a Rey Mysterio promo. He's all slinged up. I think it's a legit injury. And, sorry, I'm tweeting out. And we have, it's a pretty good Rey Mysterio promo talking about Cain and what family means to him and how this is a family thing. But then on the Titantron, Heyman comes out. And he's, talking Brock up. And he mentioned something about family. And then Shelton Benjamin comes out. And he calls out Rey Mysterio because Cain's getting a title shot off of protecting Rey. And how's that fair? Which he's right, it isn't. But, it's WWE. So he gets in Rey's face. And Cain comes out to protect Rey. And Shelton can't seem to out-grapple Cain. Cain kind of just outlocks him, and Cain takes him down and uses some ground and pound similar to how he beat Brock up. And chokes out Shelton Benjamin and fucks him up. Taps out Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin's on the outside, all fucked up. And it's funny, Cain was forced to wear a shirt. I heard somewhere that that Vince was not too happy with Cain Velasquez being shirtless on Fox. I don't know if he knows too much who Cain is. I know he knows now because he's with the company. But I don't know if he knew that Cain had the big brown pride tattoo across the chest and he's got a dad bod. I'm pretty sure he did know he was the guy that beat Brock Lesnar for the UFC title. And he wasn't as fat, maybe. Well, he's just not toned. I wouldn't say fat. He's just, like I said, dad bod. After this, we get a Seth Rollins promo calling out some kid, Humberto Carrillo. He's a call-up to Raw from 205 to NXT. He's this Mexican kid. He's super high-flying, super luchador. without the mask, but lucha style. He had commented something about Rollins burning something down and how he wouldn't burn something down. And this was earlier on, so Seth calls him out and kind of doesn't... Yeah, he does call him out and then offers him a match to prove what he was saying, in a respectful way. So we get Seth Rollins versus Humberto Carrillo. And Rollins is kind of not respecting him and treating him like a rookie. So Humberto Carrillo is game. So he's able to get a lot of good offense off on Seth early on. Kind of shocking Seth because he wasn't respecting him. Seth turns a little bit methodical and he's fucking him up on the outside to gain the advantage back for himself. Eventually takes over, not with no struggle from Humberto. Like I said, Humberto put himself out there, was game, was blow to blow with Seth. It's just Seth wasn't gonna lose. He was just, he was there to try to put over Humberto while beating him. And I think he did a good job at that. Like I said, this kid could hang with Seth. He just couldn't get over on Seth. R-Truth tries to get his title back, but pins the wrong Bollywood boy. And then that brings us to our main event. In the main event, we have the Street Profits taking on the OC, and it's supposed to be a 3-on-3 match, but we never get the third man for the OC, or not for the OC. The OC has AJ as their third man. We never get the third man for Street Profits. So Street Profits come out, and it's a 2-on-2, and they kind of just make AJ stay out of it. Street Profits start off strong, but in the main event, they go to commercial. Montez Ford is being worked on after the commercial. He's being isolated by the OC, by Carl Anderson and... I forget the other guy's name from the OC. Carl Anderson. It'll come to me. I'm kind of ripped. AJ interferes and gets booted from the match. KO comes out and stuns AJ. AJ Styles, that is. And Montez Ford and fucking Hawkins. What's his first name? I forget his first name. It'll come to me. They pick up the victory. WWE is really over on Street Profits. Someone creative is really over on Street Profits. Dawkins doesn't do phenomenal work. Ford can do pretty good work. Pretty phenomenal work. Not too fond with their look, especially Dawkins. Maybe needs to tone up if you want. If he's the muscle and he's the big guy of the group, let's get jacked, motherfucker. But it is what it is. Street Profits beat the OC, and that's how we end Raw. Like I said, pretty good Raw. I'd say 2.5 stars. Nothing really out there, but entertaining all the way through. Advanced good storylines, and definitely want to see more. So, yeah. That was Raw for October 21st, 2019. Please subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe for your weekly updates of Raw or reviews of Raw and AEW. If I have a chance with SmackDown and NXT, I'll get a chance to it. I do watch them. It's just I record Tuesdays. Well, I can't really watch them. because they come out Friday and Wednesday respectively. But I record Tuesdays and I record Thursdays with Jeff. So if I can find time on Thursdays, I'll try to record. If not, I'm sorry, but I got a job, guys. I'm trying to work overtime too. I've been working overtime. Got to get that money. But like I said, please subscribe to the podcast. Rate and review on iTunes, on Podbean. Well, I think on iTunes is the only one you can. But that's the one that really helps out the show, on iTunes. If you guys are going to leave a rating or a review, please let it be iTunes. That's probably one of the more important ones. Subscribe to the iTunes. Subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe to Podbean. Subscribe everywhere. Tell your friends. Share this on your social medias. Subscribe to the Facebook group. Like I said, weekly updates on Raw, AEW. Saturdays I get together with my buddies and we watch fights and we break them down. So we have a badass time. You guys should check those out as well. Those are my fight companions with my buddies, the Rewrites, who you're hearing right now. So go ahead and subscribe to them as well. They have a show November 2nd. I'm your host, Rafael Chidas. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Eddie Guerrero episode. Viva la raza.